You ready to go live? Okay, here
Yeah.
we go.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Hey, hey there, Margie.
Hey, Adriana.
Everybody, welcome to All Access Network with Marjorie Lanelle's History, Mystery, and Sweet Tea. Today is her premiere. Yay! This is so exciting.
It's been in
So
the works for years, and we finally making it happen.
I know, I'm so excited. Now, oh, we've got folks popping in saying hello already. So,
Hi.
those of you that are watching, she's got quite a bio. She is an author. She owns Hourglass Tours, and she does history and a little bit of mystery in each one of those tours. Can you tell us a bit about Hourglass Tours and what is your vision?
Well, it all started in the 7th grade. Is that what you want me to do? Tell you how it got
Yes,
started and all?
give us
Okay.
the origin story, girl.
Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Well, when I was in middle school, they had this little short story and poetry book called The Kaleidoscope at Edgewood Middle School. And you had to be in the 8th grade to get published in it. Well, I wrote a poem. My very first poem was entitled The Gnome, and it probably had 4 or 5 stanzas. And the English teacher came to me and said, "Hey, you're only in the 7th grade, but can we publish it?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, that is where the writing bug bit me. And then in high school, I was in the drama club, the 96 Stars Drama Club, and I got bitten by the acting bug. And once you get bitten by the writing and acting bug, then there's no inoculation for it, right?
No,
There's
there's
no
not.
treatment and no cure. So, writing and acting, that led into me becoming an author later on in life after I raised all 3 of my boys. And my first book was published in 2016, and second in 2018, and the third one was in 2020. And I'm working on my fourth book now. And from there, from the books, came a walking tour in Greenwood, a walking ghost tour.
Because doesn't that
And
combine a little bit of your writing and a little bit of your theater together?
oh yeah,
Okay.
I got to write, I got to act, I got to direct, I got to coach. I mean, it was all of it in one. It just kept snowballing. And then I'm 58 now, and I thought,
Amazing, marvelous looking
we
lady.
need we need a bus. So I looked around, prayed about it, and we got a bus that is now paid for. It's Hourglass Tours, so you don't have to walk anymore. We still have the Greenwood walking ghost walk, but I have business license in Abbeville, Greenwood, 96, and Newberry, and we can go anywhere in the upstate of South Carolina with our 12-seat shuttle bus. It is ADA compliant. So if you want to go to Haygood Mill historic site and see the Indian petroglyphs, we can take your group there. If you want a ghost tour in Abbeville, like we're doing this
Woohoo!
Saturday, I dress up as your ghost host, and we're on the bus, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes. We can do customized birthday parties. We can do girls' night out. We can do transportation to and from Anderson. A group of older ladies wanted to go to Anderson and eat at Mama Penn's and shop at Hamrick's and then come back home, but they didn't want to drive. So that's what we did. So
That's so
it's
smart.
limitless. The only thing is everybody keeps asking, "Can you drink on your bus?" No, it's still the rules of the road here in South Carolina. No open containers. So sorry about that. But we have been on so many adventures. Some paranormal, some shopping, some birthday, and some just family fun. We took Rosie, my niece. She was part of the Special Olympics at Presbyterian College, so we loaded up family members and we went up there, and then we ate at Dempsey's afterwards, and then we came home. So we do all kind of things. So one little poem has led to a career that I do now full time. I semi-retired February the 22nd of this year. So that was 222. How about that? I never thought about the
That's so good.
synchronicity of that, but yeah. And
That's
if you're church,
awesome.
we can do church tours, we can do historical tours, we can do history and mystery tours, we can do ghost tours. Um, if you name a kind of tour, we can use. If it's legal, we can usually do it.
Oh my goodness. And
You've been on one of my
I
tours,
loved
and
it.
so has Gwen.
Yes, I loved being on the bus. I really loved being on the bus with everybody, having the same experience because the awe was just amazing. You know, look at this house, it's historic for this reason, and this is where this happened and that battle happened there. I was like, looking around, even though I'm from the area, it gave a brand new spin on everything, and I was just taking pictures, and I posted them, and then everybody started seeing these apparitions in my just little
Yeah,
casual pictures. There was a little Victorian couple. You could see them crossing the road, and it's obvious. Absolutely.
yeah. Well,
So
it's not just a bus tour; it's an experience, and
it
all
really
everybody
is.
has different and individual experiences. So, and I love it when they say, "I've lived in Abbeville or 96 or Newberry or Greenwood all my life, and I never knew that," and that just makes my heart happy. And since the books, the ghost stories of Uptown Greenwood and the apparitions of Abbeville, they're the first two in the series of the history and mystery of the South Carolina Lakelands, and we are slated to write 8 books. But since it has the educational component to that, I've been able to speak at Greenwood High School twice, 96 High School once, Belton Honeypath Middle School. I was invited to the town of Ware Shoals. We took the bus up there and told little stories at their Halloween extravaganza. And we're looking at possibly a murder mystery at Regal Home
Woo!
in Ware Shoals this
You
year.
better call me. You better call me. Oh my God, I will sit in the floor and pout if you don't call me a
Oh, I got
mystery.
you. I
Oh my
got you.
God.
Yeah.
I
So
love
it's
those murder
limitless what we
mysteries.
can do. Yeah. So
Yes.
all that being said, it led to I was a former tourism director, and one day I was sitting in um the welcome center, and it hit me: history, mystery, and sweet tea. And history, mystery, sweet tea. It just wouldn't go away for weeks and weeks. So my cousin who does t-shirts, I said, "Can you design me something? And this is what we're going to do." And he designed me a t-shirt, and
Oh
we were going to
man.
do it, but my son got sick. That was in 2020. My son passed away in 2022, and now it's finally happening with our producer Gwen Johns,
Gwen
that
Johns.
she does
Go
this as a
Gwen.
hobby. Can you believe it? She does it as a
Yes.
hobby, and she is so phenomenal. And thanks
There
to
she
you and
is.
all my sent
Woo!
there.
Ladies,
And so
and
all
go
that,
on Margie's tour.
yeah, and
Yes.
Go
Yes.
on her tours.
all that came together to history, mystery, and sweet tea. So now I will be traveling, sometimes on the bus, sometimes in my car, because I can only stay in South Carolina. I've got my ORS number and I'm registered in South Carolina. So if I go to Georgia or North Carolina, which they've already invited me those places, I'll drive my own car. But we go to a town and we find out the history of the town. For instance, Abbeville, it was founded by French Huguenots. and it was named after Abbeville, France, and yada, 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 yada. But I will go and visit a town. I will tell you the history of that town, and then we'll find out and dig a little deeper and find out what the local mystery is. So we've got the history and then the mystery, whether they saw Bigfoot, whether they saw an alien, whether there's ghost stories, whether there's folklore and legends. That's the mystery part of it. And then before we get there, several of the citizens will find out who has the best sweet tea, and we will promote that. So we have history, mystery, and sweet tea, and it's going to be a lot of fun. People are going to learn a lot about the Southeast from this show, and I just appreciate everybody. Some of my sponsors are the Historical Society of 96, Vampire Penguin, um, the Paranormal Society of Savannah. They kick in pros with Lee Triana,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Gwen Johns, my producer. Like I said, she believes in the show and she does this as a hobby. So, oh my goodness, this was meant to be, and it's all in God's timing, and it's finally time to do it.
I'm so glad that you're happy about all of this coming together. Because I've been excited. I've pushed you. Do it, Margie. Do it. This is going to be
I
so
know,
much
I
fun.
know.
I'm
And I was
so
yesterday, I
happy.
was like, well, let's push it to September. And Lee goes, no, we're going to do
Eh-eh.
this.
No,
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I
It's
was like,
time and it's going to
that
happen.
doesn't work for me
I
now.
know. So, so here we are.
Here we
And
are.
one thing too, in some of the towns that I visit, I like to dress up as characters.
I need to start doing
And
that. I've got to go
yeah,
shopping.
I love to dress up as characters and become that person and tell their story. Whether it's just there's so much history and mystery, especially in the Southeast.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
I know Charleston and Savannah are very, very saturated with a lot of the stories and folklore and history. Mostly history, but our upstate of South Carolina is loaded as well. And I know everybody keeps going, when's your next book coming out? Well, my next book is Amen times 10, being raised by a Southern Christian mother. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and it's it's um it's Christian based, and that will be the next one. But right after that, we are going to have the third in the series is going to include Newberry in the Ghost Story
Oh,
series.
while you're
Uh,
talking about it, hold on. Let me pop this up. It's going to be over our face, so I won't leave it there long, but I want people to see your book so when they go on Amazon, they'll know what they're looking for.
oh
So
yeah,
this
and my goal this month is to sell
mm,
100 books, and I've already sold 15 on Amazon. That's the Ghost Stories of Uptown Greenwood. There's only 68 pages. It's a very short read, but you learn the history and the mystery of Uptown Greenwood on that one. And then
okay. Yep, hold on just the next one. There we go.
the next one is the Apparitions of Abbeville,
I
and
love those. I love them
it has
both.
yeah, well, it has Apparition of Abbeville has double the pages. It's over 120 pages, and it has more research, longer stories, and it has photos in it. Now, if you look under, you can go to Amazon and look under author Marjorie Lanelle, and all three of the books that I have published will pop up. These are the two ghost story books, two of the eight, the first two of eight, and then that's my little children's book that I'm
Isn't
so
that sweet?
excited. Kenna,
Yes.
may I please? And at the time, that one was published in 2020, and Jordis Wirtz of North Carolina, a friend of mine, Jeannie Hines, it's her granddaughter. She was 14 when she illustrated that book.
Oh my God, 14,
Yep.
and you've given her that opportunity. Pull that down so we can see each other again. But I can pop it up whenever you want. I just
Oh,
want
it's
people
fine.
to see it and enjoy, finding them on Amazon. Please, if you buy a book, give a review for the author. Margie's
Yeah,
got incredible reviews on her book. It's fantastic. I love them. I've got all three, and I really when I took your tour, haven't taken the Greenwood one yet, but I have taken the Abbeville one. I want you to know I was on the tour with a lot of people that were part of the Abbeville Historic Society, and they just raved and raved about your book because what they had researched and they're particular about
Oh, yeah.
history of
It has
Abbeville.
to be accurate.
Mhm. So, and everybody that's, that has their business in Abbeville, they want it to be accurate as well, and it's right there, and they were thrilled with it, so very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And the
so much
month of
fun.
October is booked up. I'll be speaking at the Piedmont Agency on Aging. The ladies study group at First Baptist in Greenwood. A couple of the schools have contacted me, Regal Hall. So not only do we do tours, I'm available for speaking engagements as well, on different topics. It doesn't always have to be ghost story books. It could be, I've been to several daycares and 3 elementary schools with my, Can I May I Please book. So there's a lot of different genres, and people go, "How in the world?" Because you usually just write about one genre. Well, whatever the Lord gives me, that's what I put down, and that's what comes out, and that's what's been successful for me. So,
Exactly.
um, and
Well,
my
there's
ghost story books, it's not horror. It is not blood, gut, and gore. It is
no.
history and mystery and some folklore to go along with it and experiences that other people have had. And a
Mhm.
lot of times, most every time I speak somewhere, you'll have a skeptic in the audience and always expect that. I always do. And they'll say, "I don't believe in all that ghost stuff." And then they'll look around and then they'll say, "But let me tell you what happened to me."
It's true. You're 100% on that, man.
Everybody has something that
Yep,
they can't explain happens. I really
that is
believe
true.
every
I think you're right. And I think that people enjoy talking about what is mysterious, what is what's something that makes you stop and pause and think? But I do want to say congratulations about your writing and about your tours and all that you're doing and the award that you won. It's the regional slash Lakeland's Greenwood chapter of Business and Professional Women Career Woman of the Year is Marjorie Lanelle. And that led to the state level South Carolina BPW Career Woman of the Year. So in the state, you're the Career Woman of the Year. How does that feel?
Thank you. Well, on the state level, I tied with she's either a physician or a physician's assistant. We have some in the upper state and then here in the Midlands, so I got the one here, but I didn't even know I was nominated until I had won the regional. And then they asked me about my repertoire and bio, and I sent all that in. And then I won on state level. So that was very humbling, very exciting. And so yeah, it's an honor, it's a privilege. And I was also elected the new vice president of the South Carolina chapter, the entire state business and professional women group. And it's women supporting women businesses and entrepreneurs. Yes,
Yes.
and leaders. And Lee, you and Gwen and Judy, I would highly recommend y'all join this. There's so much great networking and we all support each other.
Well, we definitely need to do that. I do want to pop this up if you don't mind. Oops, let me get this down here. Boop. My mother just wrote a little book. It's called A Spooky Fun for All Haunted Countryside. And it's a great little book. It's just a little bit spooky, but for the most part, it's for ages 6 to 10, maybe 11. It's lots of fun. This is first in a series. It's a coloring book. So even though it's color on the outside of the book, there's color pages on the inside. And this is just a little bit spooky, but it teaches people, especially, well, it teaches children about how to solve problems, facing your fears, and making friends. It's
And
about two.
how old is Mama Judy?
Mama Judy's 80. 80
Okay.
years old, making her dreams come true. And
How
I
about
really
that?
think she needs to join what you're talking about, the women's program. Oh, speaking of awards, what's this? 2018 Trailblazer Award.
Oh, I had worked as the tourism director for 2010, 11, and 12 and 96. And then in 20, I don't know, I can't remember all the years or
That's
whatever,
all right.
but in 2018, I was working in Camden for a year, and they called me back for a meeting, said, "Can you be at this meeting? We really want you to be at this meeting," and I was awarded the Trailblazer Award for, the work that I did in tourism for the historic town of 96.
Yeah, the Scarecrow Project, I'm telling you, our little town never looked better. Everywhere
Yeah.
you looked, there were little scarecrows all through Main Street. I'd love to see that come back. And
Yeah,
then you did the lighting of the Dylan's tree
and
at his
Angel Row. Yeah,
Angel
yeah.
Row, and that stayed with us. Angel Row has been beautiful. We've got a walking trail that used to be a railroad,
Yeah,
and
and
on
Dr. John Eichelberger really helped boost that along. It's called Rails to Trails. I had nothing to do with that other than promoting it, but Dr. John Eichelberger was highly instrumental in getting that done.
oh, that's wonderful. But the beautiful angels through there is gorgeous. It
Yeah.
really
So
makes
we had Angel
Christmas.
Room and we did Katichi Fest because we really want to bring the indigenous people, their history. We want to bring their history back alive.
Now
And we had Katichi Fest.
let's talk a little bit about that, about, the history of the indigenous. Because something happened to you recently that I feel like people would love to know about. Um,
Yes, my ancestry on both sides. One side that we have clarified and proven on my granddaddy, Gaither Carmack Turner, which goes all the way back to Buckaloos and Buckners on the Cherokee Roll. Uh,
yes,
I am now a carded Native American
yes, ma'am, you are,
with my
and
roots, and my
we
roots run deep.
Morning Dawn is a family member ancestor of yours, and she
Yeah,
was a traveling medicine woman.
yeah,
And
Rachel Morning Dawn Holt Buckner. Yeah, yeah.
that's her, absolutely lovely. Because in the area that she lived, people didn't see a doctor. If it hadn't been for her, they wouldn't have had any medical treatment.
Well,
So
and the
it was,
doctors were so far away because people were, claiming their land and all. And not only did midwifery, but she did medicine too, natural medicine as a medicine woman.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Rachel Morning Dawn Holt. Yeah,
Bless her heart.
so I am
Mm-mm-mm.
so glad. Yeah, and being a healer, um,
Yeah.
that blood runs through our veins, and all of our family members on the Turner side.
Yes. Um, I just wanted to bring that up because, it reminds me a good bit of, what you're doing, bringing history to light.
Yeah.
The Native American tribes in South Carolina, I'm just going to read it off because this is a passion of mine. There's the Catawba, and they were granted their citizenship in South Carolina in like 1941. There's the PD, the Santee, the Beaver Creek Indians. That's over near Warrenville, South Carolina, over near Edgefield, not Edgefield, Aiken.
Yeah.
The Chickasaw, the Waccamaw, Sumter tribes of the Churraw Indians. There's the Edisto, of course, the Cherokee and Iroquois. So South Carolina is rich in history with the indigenous. And
There were over 20, you just named about 10 or 11, but there's over 28 different tribes in South Carolina. A lot of times people say, "Oh, well, my great great grandma was full blood Cherokee." And that's okay if they were full blooded Cherokee, but there were 28 different tribes. So you gotta dig a little deeper and find out exactly where your bloodline starts and where it ends.
well, I'm just so
Or
happy
it
that
doesn't end, actually. It
it
doesn't.
doesn't. So I'm just happy you're able to put all that together. It's
Well,
unbelievable.
I did research for 3 or 4 years, and then you and Gwen came up and said, "Hey, well, if you've been doing research, let us see what we can do." And within 3 weeks, I had my card.
Yeah, it was
So
amazing.
it was a teamwork thing that, y'all were working smarter and I was working harder.
Well, the thing is, you talked about and have led the way with the women professionals about women helping women. Well, we gave it right back to you. We were
Yes, you
helping
did.
you. So
Yes, you did. Yes,
doing
you
what
did.
we can, and we're in the same tribe together, Gwen and myself and you, and Chief Lamar Nelson. If you are watching or if you hear about this, we'll tag you in it. We're thrilled for the powwow that's coming in May of next year, May 4. It's either 4 or 6. Oh no, well, my brain messed me up. I might be a little confused there,
Well,
but
May the 4th is the BPW estate thing, so I think that's on the same day. I think it's the 4th.
I think it is too. But I would love for anybody that's interested in Indigenous. That May 4 is on a Sunday in 2025, so I'm
Be
thinking
the
it's May
3rd.
3rd. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, and for people who are watching that may not know what the word indigenous means, it means we were here first.
we were
Like
here
if you have
first.
an indigenous plant that grows in South Carolina, then that is where it originated. If you have an indigenous bird species that you see a lot in South Carolina, they were here since the beginning of time here in this area. Same thing as people. The Native Americans are the indigenous people here in South Carolina and in the southeast of the United States and in the entire United States. They are the indigenous people. We are the indigenous people.
I I think that's beautiful, beautiful words spoken, and there's a lot that we can learn um, from looking at the past, but moving forward, carrying what our ancestors handed to us, and continue to be honorable.
Yeah, what's
So
so neat about doing research too is you're going, "Oh my goodness, well I do that too. Oh, well I do that. Oh, we're alike in this way. Look at this. Look what she did and look what they did and look what my cousin did." And then the names 5 or 6 generations back that you don't even know, and then you name your children that.
that
It's
was weird when I was looking at your ancestry and I was seeing the names connected, and I'm like, Margie was right on track with her ancestors and her history. I was so proud. Now, I've copied and pasted this into a banner, that's scrolling across the bottom. You're a former member of the Clemson Omni Bio Society,
that was
which
in high
is
school, Omnibio Society. You just go up there and take
bios.
classes for a few
Mhm.
days to see if you want to go to Clemson. And I was interested in science and in English and the medical profession. Imagine that. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
yeah, so that was back in the 80s. And then the South Carolina Scholastic Press Association through the University of South Carolina, that too. That's where the writing bug not only bit me, but he just hung on.
Yeah.
So, I went
You
and took
got
some
bit.
classes there. Yeah. So,
You know
I
what?
love
I do want to let people know that you encouraged me over the years to write my family story. And I don't think that you
yeah,
realized that it was what it was, but you knew that I needed to write it. And you encouraged me, I encouraged mom, and now we're encouraging Gwen. Gwen's working on a book, and it's going to be fantastic. Um, I can't wait. She's also a medical professional, retired, and what she's going to do with that book is going to be amazing, bringing a lot of light to the forefront about the things that the medical profession faces in a supernatural way, and how in the world do you deal with an emergency of health issue for a patient, and now something supernatural has happened and you got to deal with that too. I mean, I think that's why she's such a great investigator, because she was
yeah,
seasoned.
and she's welcome to pop up here with
Come
us.
on up here with us,
She's
Gwen.
one of
She's getting
us.
emotional though.
Come
Come
on,
on,
Gwenny.
girl.
Come on, Gwenny.
Yes,
Yeah,
girl.
Girl, you know I'm
Yes.
trying, right?
Yes, you
yeah.
are. The book
That's
is going
because
to be incredible. We need it, Gwen. We
Well,
need it.
it's taken me a little bit because I'm not as fast as you, Lee, or
Take
you,
your time.
Margie. So, but
well,
it's coming.
listen, let me tell you something. May I share something my mother shared with me? She's been gone
Please,
since
please.
1997, and a lot of the Amen times 10. It's going to be a lot of my mama in there. Her name was Velma. She was a twin. Her twin's name is Thelma. But
Velma and Thelma, precious
Velma
people.
and Thelma, yeah, no middle name, just Velma and Thelma. But she told me, and I never will forget it, and I never do forget it, and especially when I cry, whether they're happy tears or sad tears, you let them roll because that is when your cup runneth over.
Oh, I love that.
That
I'm
is
so
And
beautiful.
ready for your book too.
always, always let your cup runneth over. And people, I've had people come up because y'all both know I've had more than a dozen jobs since I started to work at age 17. And I've only interviewed and applied for 2 jobs. I have been recruited all the other jobs. And that's not bragging, that's being humble and following what God told me to do. And somebody at a local newspaper said, "Well, you've changed your name," which I haven't. I just use my real name as a pen name, Marjorie
Mhm.
Lanelle. And then he said,
Yeah, it's your name.
and he said, and you've had job after job after job. And I was like, you know what? When I was about 6 years old, my mom and daddy sat me down on the couch and said, "Margie, we want you to know you can be anything you want to be." And right now, I want to be the owner of Hourglass Tours. I want to teach people history. I want to dress up as characters. I want to make learning about the United States fun. And I want to encourage other people to become illustrators and authors. And I even do workshops on that as well. So um, I want to help people become who they were created to be.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it
And
is.
so a lot of the things I've done, I'm publicly giving you, what you deserve. I'm acknowledging that, you encouraged me to write my first book. It was, COVID, everybody quarantine. So I sat down with my family, and my husband was the one that was my sounding board on that. I had mom and Mama Jenny involved. I turned on Word Dictate. We'd sit down at the kitchen table, and we wrote. We talked about things and would look back at what we had done. And it is one of the most memorable family projects that I've ever done. And getting the first one out was, like you said, it would be easier after that. And when Matthew and I started teaching, the second book is basically a textbook for our class. And I've
Mhm.
got him on the cover, of course, my eye candy
Yeah.
husband. I love that man. Oh my God.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember going in Mama Jenny when she was still here with us on earth. I remember going in her bedroom with your computer back there, and we went through several of the
Yes, ma'am.
chapter. And that was a that that hit. I just appreciate you letting me be a part of that.
Well, it meant everything. You coming and doing that with us and being part of that moment was a big deal. Thank you so much for your support. I
Oh, no
really
worries.
do. Oh, and I wanted you to see this. I didn't get to show this to you before, so we'll just do it right here. Everybody can see it. This is the chief of our tribe. His name is Lamar Nelson, and this is the Secretary of State, Mark Hammond, who is presenting each member of the South Carolina, Cherokee, and United Tribes of South Carolina a copy of the certificate of existence. And here's a photo of Chief Nelson receiving the certificate for our tribe. So that's who he is. I love his necklace. Look, it's hand beaded. Those little bitty rice beads are
Yes.
so hard, and he's wearing a beautiful ribbon shirt. His ancestry goes to the Dawes rolls, which were the ones that were in the Trail of Tears, and I was able to find it by complete accident. I was able to find it up on the Henderson rolls. Now, if anybody is looking for their ancestry, please, if you are in the upstate part of South Carolina, go to the Henderson rolls. The Baker's rolls of the Cherokee happened a little earlier in history. I mean, later in history. So if you've got family members that go way back, you might be on the Henderson rolls, because I
Yeah.
found the Simmons and his family line on there, and he was able to trace another genealogy, little what a part of his family tree root and went right through there. He
Yeah.
was tickled. So he and his wife Angie are great people. He's an archaeologist, and we have been invited to one of his digs. I don't know if you like digging in the dirt like me, but I'm ready to get just filthy.
Me
I don't know
too.
why I want to protect my feet with rubber boots, because I'm going to have mud all over me, I'm sure, but I can't wait. He's a fifth degree black belt, and his wife is third degree. So they are
Ooh.
very disciplined people. And
Note
he
to
had,
self: do not make Chief or your wife mad.
yes, yes, don't piss him off. Or Angie. She's a little bitty thing. And they gave me eggplant and tomatoes and things when I was taking the stuff over the profiles to his house. I mean, they are really fantastic.
But just to take their
Old
time to help
fashioned.
all of us, you know,
Yes, because he
um,
spends a lot of money of his own doing what
yeah,
he does for us, but we're working on grants, as a tribe, and I know you had said that you would be interested in volunteering.
yeah,
So, there's a lot of things we're doing, and, the tribe is going to grow, and special thanks to the Catawba tribe for, recognizing us as well. We've got some projects in the works there.
Yes.
So, while we have just a little time left, I mean, it's not near enough because I love talking to you. Would you please just tell us a little bit of a story from one of your books? Tell us about the Wandering Widow or something like that.
Oh, the Wandering Widow is
Yes,
she's
I just
actually
want
on the
everybody to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I just want them to hear your storytelling because I still am like a little kid. I like to listen. I'll get like right up.
yeah, well, the Wandering Widow is one of the most mysterious stories in the Apparitions of Abbeville book. She has been seen or floating from the door from the back parking lot of the Belmont, the historic Belmont Inn, and she floats through and she dissipates before she gets to JP's Food and Spirits. Now, the Belmont was built, it started being built in 1901 and it was finished in 1903. And at the time, it was called the Eureka Hotel. And Jim Petty and Susan Botts, they're married. They own it now. And I think they're only the sixth owners. Now, the most infamous, there are two, but one of the most infamous ghosts is the one at the Abbeville Opera House of the young actress. But let me tell you about Abraham. Abraham is also
Yes.
He's also at the Belmont Inn. He helped build the Belmont, which was then the Eureka, but he helped build it and he stayed on to be the bellman. Now, the bellman is over the bellhops, and he would go around. Some people say, well, I was in the bed sleeping last night and somebody came around and wiggled my door. And oh, that was just Abraham making sure your door was locked and that you were safe.
Yeah, he's a
And then
good
there's,
man. He's a good man. So don't be
yeah,
afraid of Abraham, please.
oh
He's a
no,
good man, just doing
no
his
one's
job.
ever got no one's ever gotten hurt or anything at the Belmont, and, of course, like I said,
Well, there's
we
been
say it's
accidents, but we're not talking about that,
yeah. Oh, I'm
It's
talking about no one's ghost-wise and ghost story-wise and
thank you.
folklore-wise, no one's gotten hurt. And Jim and, Susan always welcome it. Channel 4 was there last year, WYFF4 2 years ago, excuse me, with, Gabrielle Komorowski. Each October, the towns that they cover, we cover a ghost story. We've covered the Greenwood Museum. Lee,
Yes,
you were part of that,
thank you.
and
That was so much fun.
oh yeah, and then we covered the Belmont Inn, and last year we covered the Brickyard Tavern, which has the only open tunnel that we know of that people take tours in. So there's a lot of history, mystery, and Abbeville's known as the birthplace and the deathbed of the Confederacy. The Burt Stark Mansion is where Jefferson Davis drew up the papers to end the Confederacy, or the war between the states, or the War of Northern Aggression, or the war between the North and South. It's a very touchy subject in Abbeville. So it just depends on how they see it. So I always say it's the birthplace and deathbed of the Confederacy. And that was where he drew up the papers and then went across the state line and signed them in Georgia. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But and the McGowan House has stories. Um, the courthouse, the old jails, the Andrew Pickens Spring. Did you know if Andrew Pickens was not there, they would not have survived? No, none of the settlers would survive because he had the only spring and he shared it with everyone. And
Oh my gosh.
You've
See,
heard
I
of John.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and you know John Delahow is in McCormick County, but John Delahow helped found Abbeville, and he named it after his hometown of Abbeville, France.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
there is a group of paranormal investigators that did an investigation in the Painted Lady, which is the steamboat house, and had the little stagecoach set. And there were two ladies speaking in a different language, and they go, "Oh, that's French." And I'm going, "Well, why would it be French?" Duh, because French Huguenots founded Abbeville. So, and then there's another story about a big black stallion, so black that he looks like a raven blue, that trots
Oh.
through the square there. And there's a little African American lady. She's very tiny, very short, and has beautifully wrinkled yet smooth skin. And she doesn't have a lot of teeth, but she's got her little pillbox hat and her little gloves and the little satchel, not satchel, but the little wallet that snaps at the top like everybody's grandma used to have. And somebody has seen her and thought it was a real person and said, "Well, you're dressed up." And she goes, "My name is Penny." And they turned around to introduce themselves and she was gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And there's a whistler in what used to be the old bank that's on the Heritage Trail.
Yes.
The old bank building, and it still has the vault. It is the Chamber of Commerce. It also houses the Welcome Center. So you can go in. They actually have over 70 stops on your own self guided walking.
Ooh.
So they've got that in there. Or you can choose to come to Hourglass Tours and take an hour and 15-minute tour around
I think that's
Abbeville.
the way to go.
Yeah, and learn the history and mystery. So there's so much more. You got me off on ghost stories now, but
I know, no,
back
no. Well, it's
to
history and mystery, girl. That's
yeah.
it.
But yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing, and, as far as sweet tea, the Belmont has good sweet tea.
Oh, yes, they
They have really
do.
good
Look,
sweet tea.
you know what I love at the Belmont? I love, their Sunday brunch.
Lunch. Oh, yeah, it's from
Yeah.
11 to 2, and it's like 15.95. And if you miss your grandma's cooking, if your grandma ain't around anymore, you need to go to the Belmont from 11 to 2, on Sunday afternoon. It's well worth it, and the atmosphere is lovely. You can come casual, or you can come in your Sunday dress. You can eat on the veranda, or you can eat in the peacock room.
Yeah,
And if
Peacock
you
Room. Woohoo, I like that.
I love it too. It's so pretty. And the architect there, well, and another the gentleman Robert Mills who designed the Washington Monument.
Uh-huh.
He once resided in Abbeville, and a lot of his architecture is around on building and in houses there. A lot of people don't know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So, I do want people to see this real quick. I'm gonna pop it up for you. Hold on just a second. Let's see if I can there. Now people might could see it a little better. Um, the Haygood Mill that you were talking about.
Yes.
Our powwow is there. Oh, somebody's calling me. There we go. Get rid of that. Sorry, I should have had that on silent. I'm sorry. My mom had several phone calls come in too, so I'm going to have to, like clear the room or something. So the Haygood Mill Historic Site, you have a tour going, or you've already been, haven't you?
Yeah,
You
we've
were going,
been twice, and anytime anybody wants to
gorgeous.
go, we have 11 seats that we can fill. It's $25 a person because it is about an hour away. But we go up there, you pack your own picnic, you bring your chair, you bring your
Yes.
umbrella, and we go and we sit and we have a picnic, and then we can see the petroglyphs. They have chickens up there. There's an old moonshine still. Sorry, that's not open and it doesn't run. But you
Darn
can
it.
buy but you can buy grits and cornmeal up there from the old mill. And there's a beautiful, beautiful water wheel right beside trickling stream. And it's just a lovely piece of South Carolina. And it makes the Palmetto State what it is. And that is
Mhm.
indigenous historical ground.
Yes, it
And they
is.
have this
It's
huge
sacred to
rock.
me.
It is sacred. There's a huge rock that has petroglyphs. If you don't know what petroglyphs are, they're carvings that the Native Americans did over the years in this huge boulder. And a bridge was built over it, but once they realized what it was, they tore the bridge down and rerouted it. And now they have a building built around it. and you can go in, and it's all dark, and they shine lights on different petroglyphs and tell you the history as best they know it. And they also have a museum there, a Native American museum. And they also have bluegrass people come to play during the summer,
They do a
once a month.
storytelling festival too. I
Yep,
love it.
they do a
I
lot of
just
stuff. So,
I just turned my phone. I think I turned it down. I apologize. A tick tick and a bing bing and the technical logical world we live in. There, I got it that time. Let me pop this up real quick. Isn't that beautiful? You see her books. There's the Greenwood books, the Abbeville books, and Can I May I Please? She always takes the best pictures. I need to get some of my
uh,
books like that. But this
and
was
also
at
my
a
little tour cards there too.
you see them? Yes, I'm trying to
Yeah.
get one of those right now so I can show. But you know, you do a beautiful job at the paranormal conferences. One thing that we haven't talked about is you're a member of the Savannah um,
The
Paranormal.
Paranormal Society
There it
of
is.
Savannah.
I was struggling. Thank you.
Yeah, I had helped
Savannah.
them. Yeah, I had helped gain them some access to the Abbeville Opera House and the Belmont Inn, and have worked 2 or 3 events with them there. So they made me an honorary member. I'm 3.5 hours away. I don't do investigations with them, unless it's at a conference that we have. And the last, Patrick Welch, he and his dad founded the Paranormal Society of Savannah several years ago. And we teamed up earlier this year. We had an event in March and July, and we're going to have another one either in October or November. And it's the haunted trails of the Southeast. And we find reputedly haunted locations. And I learned the history of it, I learned the mystery of it. And Patrick and his team, and other teams, Lee, you did the last one, your team was there at the Fitzpatrick Hotel in Washington, Georgia.
Mhm.
And that is where supposedly um,
Yes.
the end of the Confederacy was signed, that Jefferson Davis wrote in Abbeville, and he went over to Washington, Georgia, and that is supposedly where he signed to end the Confederacy. But yeah, so we, Hourglass Tours and the Paranormal Society of Savannah, we teamed up, and we will be doing 4 events per year. Um, Paranormal conferences, and we bring in gifted and talented speakers and vendors, and there's something there for everybody. And so
Yes, lots of fun. I
anything,
think that the speakers were great.
yeah, anything from paranormal investigations, teaching people how the equipment works, palm readings, tea leaf readings, all kind of
Thank you.
readings. Um,
So, here's your
um,
books again,
minerals,
and this
quartz,
is what
crystals.
Gwen and I look like. We were there.
I took that picture, and we were all so
I know.
we were hangry there, and I said, "Y'all just turn around and smile,"
Yes, we were
but we were
starved,
hangry.
and
Yeah.
I love that picture when you were, you know,
Oh.
in your dress, beautiful. Wasn't it fun? I
Yeah.
think it was
Oh, I
fun,
love to
Gwen.
dress up. I dress up any chance I get. So, I
I've got
might
to get
even
on
wear a tutu
Amazon or
somewhere.
something.
Yeah.
I love that about you. You're
I
so
have to
fun.
find out where ballet was first shown in in South Carolina. Put me a tutu on. I don't know, but we like to have a lot of fun.
Woo.
I like
Yes, we
historic
do.
dress. I like the ghost host dress that I wear when we do ghost tours. And just to let everybody know, my ghost tours are not blood, gut, and gore. We do not worship
Oh,
Satan. I'm a
no.
Christian. I am a Christian. I love history. I love
Of
mystery.
course.
And I'm diabetic now, so I have to drink unsweet tea. But that's why somebody else
Mhm.
judges the sweet tea and tells me what's the best. But yeah,
Well,
I'm
that's a
so
good way
excited.
to it's gonna be great. Um, we're gonna have a lot of fun doing your show. I know that, Gwen is thrilled. I'm thrilled for you. And, so next week, Wednesday, you'll have your next, you know, this is season 1, episode 2 coming up next week. So we look forward to all the shenanigans that you're gonna get
Oh,
into.
yeah. Yeah.
Even if
Uh,
it's just talking about a place that you went or covering something about the one of the paranormal conferences you did, or one of the tours or one of the
oh, next week I
interesting
will have gone somewhere and found out the history, and I'll share the history with you, and then I'll share the mystery with you. And if I can find somebody to interview, I'll interview them too and find out who's got the best sweet tea.
isn't that cool? I love it. So we'll have the lowdown next week. Gwen and I are gonna. I just saw a ghost, y'all. I swear to God.
Yep.
Now we should not swear to God, but okay.
Sorry, I just saw somebody dart back across. I don't have the television on or anything, and I saw a black pant leg. Mom and Matt just left, and I'm sorry. I know there's no way I could change my expression when I saw it. Ginger's watching now. She's kind of like, who is that? She's right here by my side. She got right up on me. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I couldn't change my expression. I couldn't
It's
fake it. So
okay.
just
It's
tell
okay.
everybody, y'all, my house is
And just let
haunted. So
everybody
there you
know,
go.
just to let everybody know, I've had 4 people contact me over the last month. They have developed their characters. They have sent me videos, and so this year's
Oh,
Ghost Walk is going to be very interesting. And
are you
the
going to let me
Abbeville,
come?
sure, absolutely, you're
You
invited.
don't mind?
Um,
Okay, cool.
the first weekend in October will be the Abbeville dress
Hold
up
on, Lord.
ghost kind of thing for hourglass tours, because when they do theirs at the chamber, their annual ghost walk, I don't do anything because I don't invade on anybody else's thing. I'm not
So
intrusive like
the
that.
first weekend
So
of October is October 5. And so this is going to be Abbeville,
the fifth
uh,
and sixth, or is it
5th and
the fourth
6th.
and fifth? I don't have my calendar right here.
The
The
5th
first
is a
weekend,
Saturday.
the first Friday and Saturday,
Oh,
we're going to have tours in Abbeville, but we've got to look at the football schedule, of course. But I know definitely that Saturday we're going to do bus tours, but we're going to have where we stop, we're going to have um, characters get on the bus and do their monologue.
oh,
And
how
then,
lovely.
yeah, and then the next weekend we have our Greenwood Ghost Walk in
So the
Greenwood,
12th
South
of
Carolina.
October.
Yeah, and that's only 2 blocks you walk. You walk from Howard's on Main all the way down to the museum, and that's it. But along the way, there's between 11 and 15 characters who are no longer here on Earth, but they dress up and they tell you the stories. Nobody's going to jump scare you. Nobody's going to jump out with a chainsaw. It's not like that. It's history and mystery ghost walk.
Yeah, it's not that type of when you do ghost tours, it's more leaning towards history. It's not a haunted house like a Halloween
No,
haunted
but
house.
some of them can get pretty spooky, especially my Rebecca Cotton. She can get really spooky.
Yes, she can. That is something else. I have a friend that's going to help me with we're going to do a little thing for my classes that start the 17th of September. And he's a profiler. And we're going to profile Rebecca Cotton. But that's going to be I'll talk about that more on my show, but I just wanted to tell
I
you
can dress
she's
up as Becky
fascinating.
Cotton and come and do the monologue before you start with
Yes,
that
I
and start the
definitely
class
like
up.
that.
I would love to
Yes,
come and do the monologue for that.
I think you should. Think you should.
Okay.
My cat is screaming down the hallway. She's looking for mama. I'm in here, baby. I know y'all can hear all this chaos at my house. Come
I
here.
can't actually.
Oh Lord, I got on
No,
my cat noise canceling headset, but Lord have mercy.
so
Come here,
every
baby.
Wednesday, from what time to what time, Litriana?
Gwen, what is it? 5:30 to 6:30?
Or 5:45
Um,
to 6:45?
Yeah, yeah, that's
yep,
it.
5:45 to 6:45 every
Perfect.
Wednesday, and it's going to get better every week.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We just wanted everybody to know. We did the question answer session so that y'all would know what to expect. And
Yes,
if
and
you have any ideas, send them to us. You can send them to
please.
Gwen, Litriana, or me.
Yes,
Have you
exactly.
ever heard of Hell's Gate?
No,
Okay. I'll talk to
where's
you
that?
about it. Spartanburg.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, well,
But
Gwen and I are gonna do a little reconnaissance there, and then I'll tell you about it because the history of it is fascinating.
It is.
and then there's there's some family stories that have been told, especially on the Mill Village, because surely in almost all 400 houses, surely somebody's died in those houses. And I've got one girl that sent me a thing that looks like a skeleton hand. Her kid kept saying he was seeing something in the hall, and she wanted to stay confidential about it. And I said, that's no problem. And there's literally a skeletal hand that you can see. So,
Wow, that's
and that's here
crazy.
in the 96 Mill Village.
Well, I don't mind saying this house is haunted, and,
Mine as
there's 3.
well. Mine's
Mhm.
very
This
haunted.
house is haunted. I don't know what else
Yes.
to say but the truth. Poor Luna, she's tracking whatever it was that was in the in the doorway, but, 3 people did pass away here in this house, so, yeah. But,
Well, we were,
how much history has passed through this house?
yeah.
Houses were built
So
in the
much.
late 20s, early 30s. So with that in mind, and all the hardships with the war, the big war, World War II, and don't forget all the others that we've endured in our lifetime, the
Yeah.
hardship in itself can create all types of disturbed energy within people and within their homes. So,
Well, yours and my house is within 2 miles of the National Historic Site, Star Fort. So this land is not just the houses. The
yes.
land itself tells a story.
Well, me and Gwen and Matt and Mom were called to an investigation not far from my home. In fact, it was within walking distance, and the spirit in their yard said that they were still at war. They were still in. There was more to the battle than just the Starfort Park area. It came all the way out into where we are,
Oh, yeah, and
in town.
In South Carolina, there were over 400 skirmishes.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
And a skirmish is not a full-blown war, but it is war.
Folks fighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything that you need to say before we close and go to the other show?
Yeah.
Our contact number, and we're
Yes,
working on the
please.
QR code, 864-321-2695. Or on Facebook, you can go to Hourglass Tours LLC. You can message me on there, or you can private message me. I don't mind either way. Oh, by the way, I had one of the retired teachers at the school contacted me the other day. She said, "Hey, my mom's from they lived on the 96 Mill Village for a little while, but there's another hometown. It's about an hour away. Can you take her and her siblings the tour around 96 and then take them to this other town and just let them relive their childhood?" I said, I absolutely can.
Oh, Margie,
That's
how
See,
awesome.
lovely.
this is the difference that we're making in people's lives. And aren't we chosen, the human race? How wonderful God gave us the gift of memories.
That is true,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we are so, so blessed. But yeah, if you need a tour, if you need a speaker, if you need a ghost story book, if you want to tell me a ghost story, if you need, like I said, a speaker, I can speak on a lot of different genres and a lot of different things. Oh, and on September the 27th, the Greenwood Library is having local authors, and we should be there
Yes, we will.
along with other ones.
That's on a Friday night. It's going to be a great one. My mom will be there also, and it's for local authors.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jimmy McInville, Elizabeth Elderling, Karen Petit, Lee Triana, Terry Brown, Marjorie Lanelle, Judy Terry, um, and there's several others. I know Miss Audrey Moses can't be there. But yeah, I am so, so excited. And look, another thing, contact me if you have a book that you just have got to get out of here and onto paper into a book. I do a workshop, a writing workshop as well. And I've done so many that I can tell you what not to do.
Yes, that was very helpful whenever I was going through my first
Yeah.
process.
I can tell you what not to do and what to expect. And our publisher, I will shout out to Palmetto Publishing. And I just edited a book for a man in Greenwood. And he called me, he said, I think think I'm just going to do it through Amazon. I said, okay. He said, well, why did you say it like that? I said, it's your decision. Then I saw him one day at the Dixie eating lunch, and I said, hey, what'd you decide about your publisher? He said, after I checked into everything, I'm going with Palmetto Publishing. I said, good. So he's got a book coming out too. His name is Dennis Reynolds.
Oh, good. I didn't know he was
That sounds
doing
familiar.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I love him.
He established Bikers for Christ, and he's an
Yes.
ordained minister, and he takes the story of David and Goliath and puts it in biker form. And whenever he did it, he told me asked me if I would help him edit the book and read it and see what I thought. I was thinking, I don't want to read a biker's book. Girls, I could not put it down.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm not a reader, I'm a writer, but I'm telling you, I could not put it down. You've got to get it when it comes out. I'm so excited.
Ladies, I'm going to go to the other show. Lee, can you close this one out?
I got it.
Margie, love you. Bye,
Love
everybody.
you. Thank you, Glenn.
See you next week.
All right. So she's headed to the other show. So we'll end for today. And
I will see y'all next Wednesday night.
see you next Wednesday night. Okay. Thank you for watching History, Mystery, and Sweet Tea. I'm going to play the intro again so everybody can see it.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. And welcome.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great night.
Good night. Thank you, Lee.